word. And then it was like, bomb. Give Amy a big hand. Amy's pure heart. Sam and I were just up here, talking with Amy for a few minutes before we got started. By the way, did everybody get some lunch? Are you guys okay? You're not in food coma? Only in America do we gorge ourselves. I always laugh, like Walgreens. You go to Walgreens, the cigarettes are in the very back, right? And it's like, no, they're not. They're in the front. We make the sick people walk to the back to get their medicine. It's like, how backwards is country? Is everybody following me? But I want to thank Amy, because Amy speaks from her heart. And I listened to her talk about Samson and Kim and all of our leadership. Amy has not been given anything. Amy has gone out, one left, one right. She's worked incredibly hard. I've seen tremendous growth out of Amy personally the last few years. For me, by the way, that's my fuel. I want everybody in here to do well and set your families free financially. But to see people grow, that's my fuel. I've got very limited time, but before I start, I want you guys to give Amy a big hand. Frankly, you guys heard enough of me in Anaheim, so I'm just going to share for a few minutes. By the way, raise your hands if you were in Anaheim. Raise your hands. Keep your hands up. I'm just going to say this. If you're not on your deathbed, you need to be at every event. To me, it's the most important thing there is. If you get one nugget from the big events, it can change your life. One nugget. Somebody says, well, they have their arms crossed. Well, if I go to this event in Anaheim and they don't completely change my life within 1 hour, I'm never going back to the next event. It's like, dude, you just missed it. You go to an event for one nugget. If you get two, oh my gosh, it's overflowing. If you get 3 or 4 or 5, you can change your entire life. And I looked at Anaheim and I looked at the lineup of speakers we have. Female, male, Chinese, American, Chinese, people from Asia, people that live here in America, people from all over the world, the diversity. People that are educated, people that, that lack education. Some people are extremely smart, you just can't tell it on paper, right? I don't care about that. You know what I care about? I care about what's in here. And what I saw in Anaheim is a completely diverse group of people from different cultures that speak different languages, that have different experience, but they all came together with a collective vision to build something bigger than themselves. And so I jotted down yesterday a few notes, and I want to go through these very quick. And if you want to take a few of these notes and they're going to help you, fantastic. If they don't, great. But here's a few notes that I want to share with everybody. Now, the first thing I said is there's 2 parts of getting old that's horrible. Number 1, you forget everything. Number 2, I can't remember number 1. Anyways, I want everybody in this room to know whatever your dream is, at 3, it's valid. I don't care what your dream is. By the way, dreams are different for everybody. I know people that can't make their car payment, and if you could pay off their car right now, they'd burst out crying. Yep. I know people that have never owned a home, and if they were able to buy their first condo, forget a home. If they were able to buy a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo, you'd change their life. I know other people that say, I'd never ride in the back of the plane, I only want to ride in the front. I know other people that say, hey, I want household staff as big as some people have at their office. Everybody's dreams are valid. Some people stay at the Four Seasons in Ritz-Carlton, some people stay at Embassy Suites. Embassy Suites is nice. Motel 8, Tom Boydette left the light on for you. But I want you to know, whatever your dream is here, I don't care your background, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you came from. What I care about who you are is what's in here. Do you have the heart to go love on other people? But I'm going to actually flip that. Do you love yourself enough to challenge yourself? Yes. I hear a lot people say, well, you got to love people to be in this business. I think it's bigger. You can't love other people until you love yourself. Do you look in the mirror and love yourself? And if you're the person that loves yourself, guess what? You can go challenge other people, because guess what? They'll listen to you as a leader, because guess what you do? You challenge yourself. So number 1, write down challenge yourself. Number 2, the 3 P's: platform, purpose, and people. For me, we set out to build a platform. What's a platform? It's an entrepreneurial platform where you and your family can achieve whatever it is that's in your dreams. That's number 1. Number 2, I want everybody in this room to find your purpose. I don't know what your purpose is. For me, it's to be a crazy, bald, ugly maniac that loves people, that believes in people sometimes more than they believe in themselves. So I don't know what it is that you want out of this company, but I want you to figure out, I want you to know, first off, you have a platform, you can achieve whatever you want, but number 2, I want you to figure out what your purpose is when you leave here today. I didn't say next week, I said today. Figure out what your purpose is, And why you're sitting here on planet Earth, because you're not here by accident. There's been 107 billion people, when you read the records, between 106 and 107 billion people that have been alive, and there's about 7.6 billion people on planet Earth. So if you're alive right now, you're in the great minority. Figure out why you're here. Number 3, when it comes to loving people, I'm going to take it a step further than loving other people or loving yourself. I'm going to add a third dimension to that, and that's this. To really achieve something massive, no one can do it alone. You've got to love people because it's a collaboration between a talented group of people and a group of people that are willing to challenge others that goes out and changes the world and creates something massive. I was very fortunate just a few months ago to have an amazing leadership team collaborate with me on this amazing project. This is a group of people that wanted to build a platform, that wanted to go out and share their gifts and their purpose, and also wanted to impact and love on people. 7 months later, we're breaking records. I'm not going to tell you what we're doing up here, but I can tell you this. I don't know of another company in this industry anywhere in the United States that is doing what we're doing in short order. We are so successful, we can't even get a microphone that works. Okay? let me see if this is better. Is that better? Excellent. We're breaking records, guys. Some of the companies that are out there that have done billions of dollars, by the way, there's a big difference between the M and the B. The million, the M, much smaller. A billion's 1,000 millions. Go do some math and add it up. Put a couple billion into your calculator and it can't finish the rest of the equation because there's too many zeros. Some of the companies that have done billions of dollars out there did not start with the kind of start that we've had in only 7 months, since February 20th of this year. A couple more things I want you to write down. I'm a massive believer in taking responsibility for your own life. I don't know of another industry you can eat your own overhead. Yeah. Somebody says, I hear Samson talk about ROI, which I absolutely love when he shares that. I'm going to take it a step further and say, what other business can you eat your own overhead? Yeah. You order products every month, you eat them, and that runs your business. You get to eat your own overhead and become healthier. Next thing I want you to write down. You have to have a thick skin, but you never ever can have a thick heart. Why is it a thick skin? Because you're going to go home and your broke uncle, the plumber, is going to tell you this business doesn't work. You're going to face some rejection. When you leave this room, if you think you're not going to, you're wrong. I don't want you to go home and look in the refrigerator and give yourselves a bunch of positive affirmations. I want you to leave here and say, I'm going to get rejected, but that rejection's not worth me costing myself my own future. When you take broke advice from broke people, you end up broke. Wealthy people make wealthy decisions. Broke people make broke decisions. Be very careful who you're taking advice to when you leave this room. A couple more things I wrote down here. The brave may not live forever, but the cautious never live. Have some guts. Have some guts. Because if you got a bunch of guts, you'll end up having glory. Love people, love what we're doing. Go out there and share this gift. You'll end up winning in a massive way. I wrote down, it's not about what happens to you, but it's what happens. Some people are going to say to you. I disagree. It's what happens in you. For things to change, you need to change. It's not the politics. It's not your family. It's not your spouse. It's you. It's what happens in you, not what happens to you. And so often we hear these gurus, they talk about, setting your sail different and what happens to me. No, it's what happens in you. Because once this business goes from your head to your heart, you're bulletproof. You're unstoppable. Nobody can tell you this doesn't work because it's in you. Nobody can tell me this doesn't work because I've seen Amy Dunlap change your life. I've seen Samson Lee's presentation in our June Hong Kong event where he showed the car he was driving. It was 3 colors, brown, maroon, and rust. And to look at what he's accomplished today, I look at Lance and Tracy Smith. Nobody thought they'd be the superstars they've become because of this industry. There's many folks in here that have changed their life. I was talking to Cindy Maddox before we got started this morning. She's been in this industry 4 decades. She's seen it all. I hope this is your home, Cindy. I hope this is the place you're with. I love that. Say that again.
This is it.
This is it. I declare this is it. Thank you, Cindy. Here's what I want to share with you guys. I'm a massive believer in reading. Readers are leaders. Tommy Hopkins out of Scottsdale says he made a fortune because he's only 5'5", but he's 7 feet tall because of the books he's read he stands on top of. I've never forgot that. I'm a massive Jack Welch fan, and I wrote this down last night. Does anybody know who Jack Welch is? GE was 12, 13 billion in the red, and he completely turned them around. I want to share this as I end. Jack Welch talks very clearly about the 4 E's and a P. And I love how he breaks it down because it's so simple. By the way, Albert Einstein said if you can't explain something with simplicity and you have to complicate it, you personally don't understand it that well. Stop trying to confuse people. Are you in direct sales? Is this a direct sales company? Oh no, this is relational marketing because my sister does this internet website. Start telling people this is network marketing that does $190 billion per year globally. Don't be ashamed of what we do. I'm very proud when I'm on an airplane and somebody says, what do you do? I'm with this direct sales company called 3. Oh, is that an MLM? I love when people go, is that an LNN? No, I'm not a nurse. No, it's MLM. But we create all these names for one reason, because we're afraid to stand tall with posture and be proud of what we're doing. But Jack Welch kept it very simple when he talks about the 4 E's and the P's. The first one I want to share with you is energy. He said everything depends on your personal energy. Most people don't have the energy to succeed and get out of bed in the morning. Mick Jagger, most people wake up to that song, I can't get no satisfaction. And at 7 a.m., when that's the first song you're hearing all day, and your brain, your subconscious is going, I can't get no. Guys, be careful. My wife says to me, probably the biggest compliment Charity's paid me in 3.5 years, and she says, why do you wake up every day so excited and positive? Now, she's saying, I love that you do, but I had to train myself to be that way. I'll be honest with you. I had to train myself to say, today's going to be an amazing day, no matter what happened yesterday. So your first thing is your personal energy, the first E. The second thing that Jack Welch talks very clearly about is the ability to energize others. I would call that influence. Guys, we're in a world today where you're either being influenced or you're influencing someone else. I'd ask everybody in this room, who are you influencing on a daily basis? The 2 things I love the most about this business is believing in people before they believe in themselves, and I love playing a small role, being able to impact and influence others. The third thing is Jack Welch said you better have an edge. There better be something different about you. I don't want a bunch of people in Navy suits where 10 people all look the same. I don't want a culture in 3 where everybody believes the same. I'll say this publicly. Some people say, well, 5 years from now, that's that company that's full of those people. No, I don't want any of that. I want a company that's full of all kinds of people from different backgrounds, educations, life experiences. I want people crossing stages at arena events that have never had success. And they get up and they've never touched a microphone in their life, but they cross the stage and they say, because of this person playing a small role, believing in me, I was able to completely change my life. I'd ask everybody in this room to get an edge. What makes you different? Samson doesn't dress like I dress. I don't dress like Barkle. I don't dress like Lance. We might not talk the same. We might be different stature, different ages, different backgrounds, different life experience. I personally love that. By the way, when you get an edge, people can see it in your smile. They can see it in how you carry yourself. They can see it in how you interact with others. They can see that there's something unique and special about you, and I call that your edge. The 4th P, Jack Welch says, get an education, and that doesn't mean just formal. Oh, is that so important? You know what you're doing today? If I had to sum up one word for today, it's not hype, it's not excitement, it's not just science, it's not leadership. One word today for me would be education. I said it on stage in Anaheim. Jim Rome says very clearly, you can motivate an idiot, and you have a motivated idiot. You can educate an idiot, and you've changed their life. Today's about education. I'm a big believer in self-education. I believe that network marketing is nothing more than a personal development plan attached to a comp plan. Your business will never outgrow you, and if it does, I pity the man or the lady, because it's going to come back to where your skill set actually is. Those are the 4 E's. Education being the 4th. But Jack Welch speaks about the 4 E's and the P. And what's his P? One word, passion. He said, every day I went into the boardroom and I went in leading. I can tell you this, we make a lot of mistakes at corporate. You'll never hear me stand up and say we have all the answers. And if you have a leader in the field that tells you they have all the answers, I'd run, because they don't. He or she that says they know everything, I'd run from that person, because I've never met the person that knows everything. What I have met is a bunch of crazy, committed maniacs that want to grow every day and change other people's lives. We do the best we can at corporate, and we lead in an amazing way. But I'd ask everybody in this room, what's your passion? If there's one thing Barkle knows in our committed team is I'm storming into the office in the morning and I'm playing P. Diddy. I wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. And the next morning it's John Denver. And the next morning, you know why? Because I want us all to be passionate about what we do. I'm constantly preaching at the office. How do we serve this leader? How do we do this? How do we change this? How do we grow here? What do we need to do? Where are the gaps? I want your business. I want you to think the same way. Guys, we at 3 are a jet ski, not a cruise ship. It's time to pivot. It's time to move. It's time to groove. It's time to step up in each and every one of your lives. I've literally got 2-3 minutes left, and I am done. Next thing I said is you better check your environment. Guys, this is so crucial. I wouldn't be up here if I hadn't checked my environment very young. Very young, I knew there was something different. I said, I don't want to be with the masses. I'd walk through a country club. I never got invited to a golf course. I didn't swing a golf club until I was 28 years old. But I got invited. I'd go run through a golf course and I'd say, what do these people do? That's the other side of the tracks from what I grew up on. But I said, what do these people do? But I'd ask you to check your environment. You know, if you grew up and your parents owned a bakery, I jotted down a little note here. You smelled the bread, right? Every day for 2 weeks. By the 15, 16, 17 days, you don't even smell the bread. It's just normal because you're at the bakery 8, 10, 12 hours a day. The bread becomes normal. So does negativity. So does drama. So does toxicity. So does all the negative Nellies in your life. If you're looking for a reason to quit, I can give you one in about 10 seconds. Anybody can find a reason to quit. Oh, the package showed up on my front door and the UPS man left it out in the street and somebody ran over my Eternel. I'm out of here. Oh, that promo, I missed it by 1 hour. I can't believe they didn't extend it. I'm out of here. Guess what I want you to do? Look for a reason of why you need to change your life. You start looking for those reasons, everything changes. The guy sits down with you and says, what if I came in here and bought a few products and it didn't work? I'd ask him to flip his mindset. What if you came in here and you went to one person on the left and one person on the right, and in 12 months or 18 months you took that wife of yours that hasn't been on a vacation in 5 years on your first class trip? I'd ask you, what if it works and you had somebody grab you in the hallway 6 months, 9 months later and tug on your arm and say, thank you for believing in me? I'd ask you, what if it works if a gentleman that said he had given up on everything gave you a big hug and said, I just want to thank you. And then you try to deflect and say, don't thank me, I want to thank you. And he says, no, you're going to listen to me. And he grabs you by both shoulders and looks you in the eyes and says, I want you to know because you looked at me 6 months ago and said, I believe in you. Today I believe in myself. That's priceless. It's priceless for each and every one of us. Last thing I put here, two more things real quick. Courage comes from confidence, and confidence only comes from being tried and true and going through experience. Most of you, I'd ask you to ask yourselves, and do not tell me, and don't tell the person on the left or the right, do you deserve to succeed? That's a tough question. Only you can answer that. Do you deserve to succeed? The last one I put is, would you follow you? Single biggest mistake is not saying a little bit to a lot of people. And I put, get a little bit of charisma. Get an edge to yourself. I talked about edge earlier, but I saw a quote that was unbelievable on ESPN when Arnold Palmer passed away. They said on ESPN, Arnold Palmer had more charisma than anyone you've ever met. When he went to bed, he woke up the next morning with even more, but he never once reminded you that he had any. Guys, I'm going to share this with you. I love each and every one of you. I'm a different guy in that I believe in each and every one of you, and I don't even need to know who you are personally. I don't need to know where you live, what you drive, what your education is. Some of you I do know. Some of you I've gotten to know very intimately. and we've built wonderful friendships and relationships. But here's what I can tell you, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're educated, whether you're not, whether you've had success in this industry or whether you haven't. Number one, I love each and every one of you. Number two, I believe in each and every one of you. I believe that coming out of this pandemic, that we are set to have a human reconnection like mankind has never seen before. I believe anything is possible because of this industry. I believe we have the best science and products in not only this industry, but in the nutraceutical nutrition space anywhere in the world. And last but not least, I don't believe in limits. I don't want to box you in and tell you what we're capable of and what my vision is, because it's boxing you in of what's possible for your own personal life. I can tell you this is the greatest industry and the last bastion of free enterprise that I know. You can go buy a franchise, they'll tell you the fryer's on the left and the shake machine's on the right, but you'll never have the kind of interactions we're having here today. You'll get 16-year-olds that don't want to show up for work, and you're kicking yourself, saying, why did I invest 7 figures in a franchise when all I did was buy myself a job? This business is not only a way for you to build personal wealth, but it's a way for you to be rich in relationships like some of you have never experienced before. I can feel it. I get goosebumps when I think of what we've done in only 7 months. I get goosebumps when it runs through me and I know what's possible and where we're headed. I want to thank our leaders for believing in me and being loyal to the cause and the mission, the movement of what we're doing. And I want to thank each and every one of you for driving here. I met somebody earlier that drove 7 hours just to get here to spend a few hours with us and has to drive home. Dr. Bob, good to see you. Congratulations on the win. I want to thank each and every one of you for your time, your effort, your commitment, your loyalty. And I just want to tell you this. We're just getting started. We're 7 months in, we're just getting started, and you better watch out because massive things are happening. I want to welcome back Amy Dunlap, who's not only been an amazing leader, but a dear friend. And I want to share one story about Amy. Amy shared the story about myself at Tony's house taking my socks off. And I want to say this about Amy. If you gave me anything right now in leadership and says this person could have passion, they could have drive, they could have commitment. All those things are great, but you know the word that's not talked about often enough is grit. People don't talk about the grit it takes to succeed. People think success is a straight line to that wall. It's not. Success looks like this. It can be a figure eight. It can loop around. You take one left and it turns right. Here's what I know about Amy Dunlap. Her and Shane are full of grit. They're not excuse makers. They are decision makers, and they're people that make things happen. And I want you guys to give a big hand and a big warm welcome as I bring back up Amy Dunlap.